don't know. They must say, Capleton, where you eat, where you drink, where you get the energy from. I get the energy from the musicians, the instruments, the people, and the love that I have for the music. Now, this is what I love. I want to represent my country well. I want to represent the music well. I want to represent the people well, and I want to please the fans well.
Hello everybody, you're welcome back again to the Reggae Appreciation Society. The early to mid 1990s have gone down in history as the era that saw reggae make a stunning comeback from the depths of slackness since the 1980s to its original spiritual and socially conscious beginnings. The movement, popularly called the Rasta Renaissance, would lead that revolution with the likes of Luciano, Sizzla, Buju Banton, and the subject of today's video, the great Capleton, at the tip of that spear. From among his contemporaries, Capleton is the most aggressive, zealous, and uncompromising in his mission to spread the message of Jah Rastafari, a trait that often earned him lots of criticisms in the Western media space. Most ironically, and in stark contrast to his militant outlook and Bobo Ashanti credentials, Capleton started out in the dancehall space as one of the many artists who were doing slackness, and was at times so raw that his music was banned from the radio. It would take the murder of his close friend and colleague to spark his spiritual awakening and make him one of the most fiery reggae artists of his generation. Like so many other youths in Jamaica, Capleton had always had a great love for music and dreamed of taking it on as a career one day. It would however take a nasty experience that saw a then already established Ninjaman take and record one of his songs without permission for him to ditch his day job and finally take his music seriously. Let's take a look at the amazing story and career of Capleton. He was born Clifton George Bailey III on April 13, 1967, in the sleepy town of Islington in St. Mary Parish of Jamaica to a devout Christian and church-going family. As a child, his family and friends gave him the nickname Capleton, after the surname of a lawyer and family friend who also lived in the same St. Mary Parish, on account of his verbal dexterity and a great love for logical arguments. His initial exposure to music came through his local church, where he sang in the choir, but with the passage of time, he began to fall in love with the works of Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, Dennis Brown, and Papa San, and by the age of 12, he began sneaking out of his parents' home at night to go and watch local sound system heroes do their thing on the microphone. And by the age of 18, he left St. Mary for Kingston to bring his dreams a step closer. And he started out enrolling for talent shows and performing with several small sound systems, honing his craft along the way. His raw talent and magnetic stage presence quickly caught the attention of Stuart Brown, the CEO of African Star, a sound system and record label, and Capleton would land a role as in-house DJ with that outfit in 1987. It would be African Star that gave him his first taste of international exposure when he was flown to Canada to perform as opening act at a concert that had Flower Gun and Ninjaman as headline performers. But for all of Capleton's then achievements, the music was then little more than a hobby, as the money he was getting didn't go further than buying him a snack or drink. At the time, he was holding down a steady day job at a popular shoe store in Kingston called Lee's Fifth Avenue, a job that kept a roof over his head and guaranteed food in his stomach. In that period, Ninjaman was a close collaborator with the sound system, and that factor would inadvertently force him into diving headfirst into a life in the music business. On New Year's Day in 1989, Capleton and Shabba Ranks were freestyling on stage at an event in the Papine area and were mashing up that crowd big time. Also watching from the sidelines was Ninjaman, and he would take special notes of Capleton's flow and lyrics on that stage. In fact, he would pay such close attention that he would later go and record an entire song of what he had just heard. And the result was Ninjaman's hit track, Longfield Release. Naturally, when he found out, Capleton was furious at what Ninjaman had done, and in a fit of anger, he quit his job at the shoe store and devoted all his energy and time to writing songs and improving his stagecraft. He was far from happy with Ninjaman for the betrayal, but soon forgave him and kept on working with him. A pretty unexpected decision when he made it, but one that would pay off later big time. And it was while hanging out at Ninjaman's yard one day that he would meet legendary producer Philip Pattis Burrell. Ninjaman not only introduced Capleton to Pattis, but told him that Capleton was the one who had written Longfield Release, a song that Pattis was also a big fan of, and the introduction would grow into a friendship between the pair. Capleton would over time pick up plenty of lessons from Ninjaman that he would apply to his own style and music. However, history would almost repeat itself when Capleton found out that Ninjaman was about to steal another of his songs called Bumbo Red. But this time, Capleton grabbed the initiative by dashing over to Pattis' studio and recording it first. The song would be released under Pattis' label Exterminator Records in 1990, Bumble Red became a hit in Jamaica upon release, but the song's slack lyrics would see it banned from the airwaves by the authorities, and he would follow that up with other slack bangers like No Lotion Man and number 1 on the Look Good charts, and ended the year on a high with a solid performance at the Reggae Sunsplash. Capleton was putting out slack material like most of his peers were doing, but his close friendship with dancehall artist Panhead would begin to influence him. Panhead was a street legend and rugged DJ, but around 1992 had begun to undergo a shift towards spiritual and conscious music. The pair were inseparable and would even embark on a mini tour of the UK in 1993, but tragically, Panhead was murdered on October of that same year, sending shockwaves through Jamaica's reggae family and literally converted his friends like Garnet Silk, Buju Banton and Capleton to introspective Rastas. His death would inspire Capleton to record the song Cold-Blooded Murderer and marked his rebirth as a conscious artist. And by the time his album Good Soul came out, his conversion to Rastafari was complete, as he was then a full-fledged member of the Bobo Ashanti Mansion and the leader of a firebrand collective of Rasta artists called the House of David crew. Incidentally, it was Capleton and his crew that would discover a then 15-year-old aspiring singer called Little Melody and rename him Jacques. Though already a big artist in Jamaica, he would get his international breakthrough with the album Prophecy that came out in 1995 and featured mega hit tracks like Wings of the Morning and my personal favorite, Tour, which lit up dance floors all over the globe. The remix of Wings of the Morning, featuring star rapper Method Man, broke into the hip-hop charts and earned him a massive new fan base, and he would follow the same formula on his next album, released with Def Jam, named I Testament, before returning to his roots, pun intended, with 1999's One Mission. But it was 2000's More Fire that blew audiences and critics away. That album was a 20-track scorcher, which included my favorite Capleton song, Jaja City, that was produced by Morgan Heritage. His music has with each subsequent release gotten more radical and spiritual in outlook, with fire becoming one of his most dominant themes, with him attributing the element to purification and cleansing. In tandem, he's adopted different aliases, all associated with fire, like the Fireman and King Shango, an African representation of the god of thunder. And with more than 20 albums under his belt, he hasn't lost even a bit of the radical fervor that he acquired more than 30 years ago. And like his late pal Panhead, Capleton is also a pillar of his community and donates close to $1 million Jamaican every year to charities in his home parish of St. Mary. And 3 decades on, he's among the most influential figures in reggae music today and still thrills audiences around the world with his electrifying stage shows. He definitely earned the right to be called a legend and an all-time icon of the genre. So there you have it. Thank you for watching the video today. Please leave a like, subscribe, and until next time, Jah bless.